So the person telling us this story says that they haven't talked to their dad in a very long time, but he remembers a story that his dad told him when they were little, and it's something that he will never forget. He said that his dad grew up by the coast and at a very young age started hanging out with the wrong crowd. His dad and a friend had gone to play soccer, and by the time they were riding their bikes back home, it was already nighttime. On their way home, they had to pass by these abandoned houses, and they were very close to the ocean. So as they're riding their bikes, they can see their friend Ray from afar, close to one of those abandoned houses. He mentions that Ray was a little weird and one of those friends that was like really bad. However, Ray was not a concern for the dad and their friend because they were all friends. So they decided to say, "Hey Ray," from afar and start waving at him. Ray did turn around to look at them, and they saw that Ray had a box, turned to look at them, and basically just ignored them and went into one of those abandoned houses. The dad said that when Ray walked into that house, they started to hear a whole bunch of guys just screaming, and as soon as they heard that scream, they saw a whole bunch of them just run out of that abandoned house, and they hadn't seen that there was a truck hidden in between the houses. Well, that truck was trying to get out of there so fast that they almost ran them over and their bikes. However, they didn't see Ray leave the house. He was not in the truck. He wasn't one of the guys who ran out. So obviously the two boys were like, what is going on? Why is Ray in there? Why did they leave? And in the middle of them trying to like talk to each other, they hear this crazy scream that didn't sound human-like. The dad and their friend really wanted to get the hell out of there, but they started to think if the roles were reversed, Ray would have never left them in that situation. So they thought to themselves, we need to go see if he's okay because he has not left that abandoned house. He says that the dad and the friend started walking towards that abandoned house, and they were terrified. They were so scared. They said that they peeked in and that they can see that Ray was in like a fetal position in one of the bedrooms. They said that they also noticed that in the middle of that room there was a big dark cage, but it almost looked like it had been broken, like almost like something had escaped that cage. The dad said that they could hear something breathing hard in like a corner of the room. Mind you, it's the abandoned house, there's no lights, in the middle of the night. They could tell that it wasn't Ray breathing like that. It wasn't the dad, and it wasn't the friend. Out of nowhere, Ray gets up, pushes him and this friend to the ground, and gets the hell out of that house. And after Ray left them there, they can still hear that like agitated breathing from something. They knew that something else was in there, and out of nowhere they start to hear something moving inside of that house. He mentions that this abandoned house had no roof, but it had like bars on the very top, and while they're still on the ground, they hear something leap towards those bars, get out, and like almost go towards the sea. He said that the dad, out of instinct, like started running after whatever left the house, and that the friend started running after him too, but not because he wanted to see what was going towards the ocean, but because he didn't want to stay alone in that abandoned house. He said that through the darkness they can see this thing like dragging itself through the sand towards the ocean, and it was going like so fast, like it couldn't have been human. He said that they were both in shock when this thing went into the ocean, and that they were trying to look at each other like, did you see this? And did we see the same thing? Because at a certain point right before it went into the ocean, the dad said that it looked like a really big fish. The dad says that he swears he thought he saw human arms on this thing because it was dragging itself with the top of the body. However, the dad's friend, he said that he swears he saw a little bit more than just arms. He swears that he saw the torso of a woman. He said that it looked like the woman torso, but very like thin. You could almost see like the skeleton, and that it looked like an old lady. After they see this, they run back to the road because they wanted to get on their bikes and get the fuck out of there. However, that's when they noticed that one of their bikes were missing because Ray took it when he left. When they finally made it into town, they said that they saw Ray and his mom, and obviously the bike that he took from them, and that when they saw Ray, he was crying and like terrified and hugging his mom. They said that they didn't say anything to Ray, but they did just grab grab the bike and go home. He said that the next few weeks were a little crazy in that town. That the people who would fish around that town started to come home earlier and they would never go out anymore until the sun would rise. He said that some people even noticed that when somebody would walk towards the ocean in the middle of the night, they would start to hear some really weird sounds. Those sounds were similar to what they heard that night in that abandoned house, but just a little bit different. He mentions how these noises were sounding just a little bit sad, and it wasn't just one sound. It was so many different sounds, almost like if there was a bunch of these things near the ocean. I feel like these people captured something they shouldn't have captured, put it in that abandoned home. Thankfully, if it was a mermaid or siren, they made it back home. But revenge on this town for what they did. First of all, I'm already scared of the ocean. Imagine seeing this middle of the night. Strange sounds. Yeah, I would not set foot back in that ocean because I feel like it could be anybody that would have to pay back for what these kids did. Of course, we don't know if this is true or not. I feel like there's more in these oceans that we don't know, so sirens, mermaids, probably, but maybe not the Little Mermaid type that we see in cartoons. Anyway guys, this story is from Relatos de la Noche. I translated it from Spanish to English. If you want to go hear it in Spanish, it's gonna be here. I'll add the timestamp on it too. By the way, I got these earrings by Beach Bum. I'm gonna tag her in the comments and in my caption too, so you guys can go check it out. I also got these other ones. Wait, let me show you. Before I showed you, when I ordered these, I thought they were gonna be like small. They're huge and I love them. They're so pretty. I also got these sand dollar ones. I love these. Wait, is it green screening this? Wait, hold on. I have to be a influencer. Just kidding. Cute necklace, and I wanted to wear it, but I feel like I was already being choked by this. But it is so adorable. You guys have to go check her out. Anyway, what are your thoughts? What do you think it was? I feel like the story has so many details to like not believe it, and it's also even crazier when you experience something like this with someone else. Like if I'm alone and I see this, I can lie to myself. But if someone's with me and they're also seeing this, never going to the ocean again. Okay, don't mind the way I look right now. I'm editing this video and I'm re-listening to this story. What the fuck was in that box? Ray had a box in his hand. What was in that box? And now I'm like going insane. What if they didn't just take this like siren? They also took like her baby. Maybe it died. Why did they sound sad now? So many questions. Cause like they forgot about the box. I mean, obviously, because scary. But what the fuck was in that box? Why did those men scream as soon as he walked in there with the box? What if he walked in there with the dead baby, right? I'm overthinking now, but hear me out. What if Ray walked in with the dead baby, right? Siren sees that, goes fucking crazy, breaks out of that fucking cage. Men run out of there screaming. Obviously, she goes back to the ocean because she's about to go to her daddy to come and beat these fuckers. Weeks? People can't go in the ocean? The sounds are sounding sad. Come on. Okay, I fear my imagination has gone wild, but what do you think?